Thursday, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show presented by the one, the only Circle K. Head to any Circle K Arizona location where you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents now through September 3rd. I'm Anthony Totri. This guy right over here, that is Erik Ruby. We got DJ Danielle behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. No Senor Diefenbach today. We've sent him away. Yeah. He's on an excursion.
His draft was so bad. We said, you take a sabbatical.
Yeah.
And get your mind right.
Yeah.
Because this is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
So we sent him to the Big Island.
Yeah. There'll be a few days where Shane is not with us. And again, he's going to go try and get it together.
Yeah, it's just something that you kind of have to do, right? Like you just take so many different types of L's and whatnot, and you just kind of gotta regroup. And want to shout out everybody in the chat who's here. Rhonda Skeeter coming from CHGO came to drop a like. ALLCITY fan,
Love
that's
that.
right. Chad Johnson, Sharon, our diehard in the chat, who gets a shout out from Graham Rossini in yesterday's episode when we brought the AD on and talked about him. Chad said Shane's going back on a bus.
Yeah, Busboy.
Absolutely.
That's a great nickname. That's a great nickname.
Busboy is a great nickname. And if there's a couple more drafts where he takes fire as an invention or something similar.
I know you hate it. I disagree with you.
It's not an invention. It's a thing.
It is.
Nobody invented fire.
Yeah,
they just learned how
you didn't hear the story?
They learned how to make fire.
Two cavemen back in the day.
Fire existed.
Named Denny Dillingham. Put two rocks together. Boom, fire.
You can make a fire, but you didn't invent fire. Fire is just a thing.
We can agree to disagree.
Anyways.
If you're watching live, then you saw Damon Dog. He threw a Circle K snack that I had asked him to go get me. Lovely little energy drink. So for everybody on audio, we're just gonna do the honors here.
Little PHNX ASMR.
Now the show can start. Now we can begin because we've got a lot to get into. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, wherever you get your podcast. Drop a 5-star review. Actually, before we even get into it, let's acknowledge what we got going on here. It's not permanent right now, this set
we're chilling,
placement, but I love this.
Yeah, I feel very relaxed.
You're very comfortable.
Now.
It's awesome.
Chilling.
Like, we're just having a good old time here.
We're doing some renovations over at good old PHNX, and there's going to be a brand new setup in the studio, and
big news coming soon.
Now we're just chilling. Right now, this is kind of the in-between, and I'm sitting down, I'm relaxing. I will say, a little bit too much of my thigh on screen. But, you
should have to pay for that kind of content.
You know what? Drop a super chat.
Yeah?
I'll lift my shorts up a little bit. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that. I won't do that. I'm a man of integrity.
I love it. I love that. Don't know how your wife would feel about it.
Yeah, she said, get that money.
Yeah. Look, the big news of the day. Once again, Brett Yormark making the news. So, if you guys haven't seen it, this is the tweet that scattered across social media this morning from the one, the only Brett McMurphy himself, tweeting, Big 12 in discussions with Allstate on a naming rights deal to change league's name, sources told Action Network HQ. The deal could be worth between $30 to $50 million annually, and name possibilities including Big Allstate Conference or Allstate 12 Conference, sources said. Want to get further into the details before we kind of let Erik loose here. So no major conference in recent college sports history has ever done anything like this in terms of selling exclusive naming rights to the actual conference itself. Again, according to an article by Yahoo Sports, several big corporations are expected to be involved in the process for the naming rights. Allstate appears to be, I'm not going to say the front runner, but the one that people are definitely talking about. Again, Allstate 12 could potentially be a name. And again, this would be one of the most lucrative and unique sponsorship deals in college sports history. Continuing on with that article, in meetings with league administrators 2 weeks ago in Dallas, apparently that's when Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark formally introduced the concept to sell the naming rights of the conference in a deal that would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, obviously over years. The latest conversations within the conference have centered on retaining 12 in the Big 12 name and removing Big. The corporate sponsor would replace Big, a significant change, but one expected to generate hundreds of millions of dollars. And with that, here we go. There you go.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, let me separate it. Let me separate a couple things first. A, get that money, Big Daddy Yormark. Let's get that bread because that's coming.
Can we stop calling him Big Daddy Yormark?
Actually, if he keeps the 12, yes. But here's the thing. Get the money because it's going to come back to ASU. You always want to be the conference that's on the cutting edge. Absolutely. Out of all things to keep in the name, you're going to keep 12? 12. How many teams are in the Big 12 right now?
16.
16. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And if you're already like, hey, we're going to take the leap and we're going to rename the conference, you're keeping 12? That makes no sense.
But let's
no, that makes no.
I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying they're not the only ones, right? The Big 10 added teams.
Yeah, I hate that too. I don't hate that you're adding teams, but it should be the big whatever the hell amount of teams are in there. Right now, we should be talking about the Big 16.
Yeah, but you never know when it's going to change, I think, is the thing.
Then you add one. It's not that big of a deal.
But it is in terms of these contracts, right? Like,
so they take the number out of it.
Again, I see the frustration. I see the frustration with the number 12. Like, I get that. I also like the name Allstate 12 doesn't really do it for me.
I mean, listen, you're not going to get, unless it's, Circle K or something, you're not going to get like a sponsor that gets you like standing up out of your seat. It's going to be something you need to like get used to. And that part of it, like, it is what it is. Because if they do it, everybody else is going to do it. I
love the idea Espo had in the office earlier. Where using kind of like Allstate's, like their catchphrase, like mayhem. So like the conference of mayhem.
Listen,
or the mayhem conference. I'm here for that.
No free ads, but
But this whole show is about.
We are well past.
Yeah, we're well past free ads.
Sorry,
today.
Max isn't in the office, and Sweet Prince Kenny in the cat in the cat. I'm just mad in the chat saying, Erik, get with the times, calling me Nick Saban. Listen, my problem's not with selling the name. Listen, dude, get that. I just said at the beginning of the show, you missed it, Sweet Prince Kenny, but I'm all about getting your money, man.
Get the bag.
I get it. And I also understand, like, part of the reason why we're talking about Arizona State University in the Big 12 is because they were part of a conference that refused to adapt and be on the cutting edge. That is in its own place. And then it's what I'm mad about. And what I'm mad about is if you are already taking the step to rename the conference, don't keep 12. Like, what is the significance of 12 right now?
The history behind it, right?
We're past that. We killed the Conference of Champions. We suffocated.
We didn't. Hey, let's get something clear. You and I did
Sun
not
Devils
do
didn't
it.
do shit.
George and Larry
suffocated the Conference of Champions. It took 100 years of college athletics history and put it in the dirt. Okay, we're past that. We are done with that. Okay, get rid of the 12. The 12. Whether you're
is hung up on the fucking number 12, dude.
Whether you are even renaming with branding at all, the fact that you add teams to a conference that is named after the number of teams in the conference and you don't change the number. At first I was just like, that's stupid. But now that I'm like, oh, it's an active decision. It's an active decision to keep the 12. Come on.
I think I see the frustration.
I mean, listen, give me like 3 days. And I'll be fine.
Yeah, you won't care.
No,
you won't care. And again, you won't care because the money.
Tonight.
The money involved.
Well, that's the thing. It will benefit ASU. I have no problem with them selling it, right? Like, we're already past that point. If I was going to get mad about money ruling college athletics, it is what it is.
I want to talk about this specifically because Brett Yormark has been, I believe he's only, and I could be totally wrong. I thought I read this morning, he's only in year 2 of being the commissioner of the Big 12. Double check that for me, but I think that's the case. And again, Arizona State fans, I understand why they specifically would have a little bit more of an issue than the teams already in the Big 12. Do we have an answer to that question?
Since 2022.
Okay, so yeah, he is in year 2. And this is, again, in year one, this mofo was already adding teams.
Yeah.
He said, we're not going to be doing,
he doesn't care.
We're doing college football the way that Brett Yormark envisions college football. Now, again, back to Pac-12 teams and Pac-12 fan bases being a little bit on the edge of their seat about something like this because they had Larry Scott as a commissioner. They had George Kliavkoff as a commissioner, and they saw the idea and they heard the constant of just, we're trying to innovate. We're going to be ahead of the curve. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then it failed. I get that. Brett Yormark is not that guy, okay? And this conference is not that conference.
No.
Brett Yormark gets shit done, okay?
Yeah.
So even if they are just toying with this idea, it's in contract negotiations. You can talk about George and Larry and the Pac-12 and, you know, the way they fumbled that whole thing. Right now, Brett Yormark is innovating college sports in the idea of selling the naming rights to an actual conference is so damn historic that I think people immediately, they saw this morning and they were pissed off, but they didn't understand or they've yet to grasp the idea that you are living in college football fucking history right now. Okay? Let's understand that because you are.
Fire me up.
We're talking about conference realignment and we kind of, there was that whole 6 to 8 month span of we're like, oh, we're super fucking sad. Texas and Oklahoma, they're going to the SEC. UCLA and USC are going to the Big Ten. And Shane's not here right now to be the voice of the Pac-12 in tradition. And that's okay. Fucking buckle up and get with the damn times. Shit is changing, and you are either going to be excited about it or you're going to cry about it. And if you want to cry about it, go get yourself some fucking tissues and turn on some daytime television on Saturday when the rest of us are watching college football in the Allstate 12 or the Charmin 12 or the whatever 12 conference. I don't care.
It can't be named after something soft.
It is money going to these programs. It is money going into these conferences. And if you are a fan of Arizona State, if you are a fan of Colorado, Utah, BYU, UCF, Kansas State, and you're sitting there crying that your team doesn't get to be in the college football playoff and, you know, you haven't seen your team compete for a national championship in basketball, baseball, football, whatever. Guess what? The reason why they don't do that is because year over year, Big 12 teams, Pac-12 teams haven't been able to financially match the power that sits in the Big 10 in the SEC. Well, guess what? Brett Yormark, he's got his big boy pants on, and he says, that's it. The Big 12, we're competing. We're going to go win championships. We're going to get it done. We're done being the third conference behind the Big 10 and the SEC. And guess what? Sometimes you got to do some uncomfy shit like selling the naming rights to the league to try and play in the same damn ballpark as the SEC in the Big 10. This is college football fucking history. Enjoy it.
How much did he pay you?
Enjoy it, damn it.
No, I'm okay. Listen, I agree.
That was one sip.
Now I'm about to say you turned on. You have not been like that all day. You turned on. Listen, first of all, I agree with what you're saying, right? Like, I agree that you should be happy and glad that your commissioner right now is the one who's not being reactionary, because being reactionary is what killed the Pac-12.
Yeah.
That was it. They thought that they could just hang back and do whatever and make whatever decision and figure it out, and then they realized that they couldn't, and then they realized they were screwed. And I want to address a couple things in the chat. We're going to need to scroll up a little bit because people have takes on this, which I love. It's from Joseph and from Joe. So a little bit up more, a little bit. Okay, so Joseph says, it's a lot of paperwork to change that name, TBH. They're already doing the paperwork. They're already changing it. That's what I'm saying.
Contract negotiations.
If you're already in the process. And then Joe, so from Joseph to Joe, which thank you, all of you, for being in the chat and for commenting. We appreciate all of your opinions, but he says, perhaps Yormark knows more teams are coming, so why change the 12 now? Well, in that case, you just get rid of the number, right? Like, you don't have to have a number. The SEC, it's not the SEC 16. Like, it's not. It's just the SEC, you know? Like, you just don't change the number. Right. And then William's like, oh, it's because they're trying to sell out. They're trying to sell out. And look, I get it. You can look at it that way and you might technically not be wrong. But at the same time,
it's not selling out. How's it selling out, though?
Well, it's the same argument of like, anti-NIL. It's like you're not doing it for the love of the game. You're not doing it to preserve the history.
Dude,
and
I'm
whether
so
you
fucking tired of that.
I know. And it's whether you like it or not. We are so far into this right now. That's a good comment, Clint.
Clint's crazy.
That's a good comment, Clint. I'm not going to read it.
And that's coming from a Mountain West program.
Yeah, that's a good comment, though, Clint.
Sorry, Clint. I had to go there.
That's a good comment. But like, listen, like this it is what it is. And you don't want to go in a situation where you are now disbanding the Big 12 when they have 35 teams, like the Big 12, and now you're going to join another conference. I mean, think about, like, ASU has actually reached the other side of it pretty well, but think about how catastrophic this has been for Wazoo.
Yeah.
Right? For Oregon State.
Oregon State was a top 15 team in football last year.
Think about what that has done to them and to their futures. You are now part of the conference that is ensuring if that happens again, you will be the beneficiary. You will not be the victim, right? And that is because he's ahead of this curve. And you can like it or not. You can agree with it or not. At the end of the day, the football games are still going to be played. The basketball games are still going to be played. The hockey games are still going to be played. Athletes are still going to go out there and compete. And when you're cheering on your team and you're repping your colors, nothing much is going to change except for you're chasing the blank championship instead of the Big 12 championship.
Listen,
that's it. That's the only thing that changes. That's it.
I want to talk about this in the because there are fans that I agree that the pageantry and the tradition and not playing for the school. I understand. Like, I hear you. That's what I've heard. I work with Shane Diefenbach. I've heard that, right? Like, we hear it on the show, and that is a valid opinion. That is a valid thing to appreciate, and I totally get that. But let's zoom into Arizona State for a second, because we're talking a lot about the conference in general, and I think rightfully so. But we had Graham Rossini, the Arizona State athletic director, on the show yesterday. Mm-hmm. We had Kenny Dillingham in studio a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And the two things that Arizona State fans, when they talk about those two specifically and getting excited, right, is those two, they bring the energy. They bring the passion. They're young, right? And you look at what immediately these guys do behind the scenes in terms of innovating, in terms of the little day-by-day things that make them who they are. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about Kenny Dillingham and his approach to trying to build this program of getting guys that want to commit to Arizona State. But what does he do when they don't come here, right? He wishes them the best, does that. That can turn people off. I understand that idea of people being upset that their coach is wishing well to players going to other programs. I hear that, right? I that's an opinion that you have, and I see it. I disagree with it, but I hear it, right? But there's a larger chunk of the fan base that is like, that's a very innovative way to maintain a relationship in a public setting. You look at Graham Rossini, all of the little things that he's done with Arizona State in the past that people haven't heard about, that he's done with the Diamondbacks kind of in the shadows, and it's innovation, right? What is Arizona State known for? Number one in fucking innovation, baby. Right. So if you're excited about Kenny Dillingham, you're excited about Graham Rossini and their different, unique way of thinking and challenging the norm to try and get Arizona State, a program that, quite frankly, is just, it doesn't have the same money being thrown into the athletic department as an Ohio State, as a Georgia, as an Alabama. But you have to approach these challenges with unique solutions. And that's what Kenny and Graham are doing at Arizona State. And then you zoom back in or zoom back out to the Big 12 and you talk about the conference, and you're talking about the Big 12. How can we compete with year-over-year champions in basketball, right? Or more so football when you're talking about the SEC in the Big 10. Yeah. Well, you've got a unique challenge, right? The SEC and the Big 10, they got a lot of money, right? Because they win a lot, okay? Those fan bases, they love those fucking programs. They will bleed for the Bulldogs. They will bleed for the Crimson Tide, for the Buckeyes, whatever. So what do you have? You got a wild challenge, and Brett Yormark is presenting a unique solution.
Yeah, and listen, why do a lot of those teams win a lot? And it's not just the last couple of years that whoever has the most money to throw around ends up having the best program. Now everybody's just actually talking about it. And William in the chat, again, thank you all for leaving your thoughts and your comments. And maybe we don't always agree, but that's what's beautiful about all of this is an open conversation. And trust me, many people have very different thoughts than the both of us. And he says, innovative doesn't always equate to results. The quality of the product will deteriorate because they're selling a stake of the conference. Shareholders just care about bottom line, not quality. And I do understand that concern. However, what makes people tune into football games? What makes people buy tickets? What makes ad revenue actually happen? Good product when it comes to sports. That is and always will be the bottom line. And they understand that. And the way right now, before college sports decides to change again, for you to be at the cutting edge and to, quite frankly, attract the most talent is to have the most money to throw around. It was a couple weeks ago. We were talking about ASU doesn't get a share of it, but there was a good chunk of money dispersed between all the Big 12 teams based off of, okay, this is what the conference is getting. Now all of you get your allotment. ASU will be getting that next year, right? Like this money, whether you like it or not, will make your favorite team better. It will make all of us better. It will make ASU better. It will make U of A better, whether you like it or not. It's going to make Kansas better, Kansas State. It's going to make everybody better. And then everybody gets better. And now you start competing against each other. And now there's more eyeballs. And now people care more. And at the end of the day, 5 years from now, this is all going to seem normal. Remember jersey patches? Everybody lost their fucking minds over jersey patches. And sure, there's a couple that I'm like, I don't love that. But you're over it now. It is what it is.
Get on board. Is what
I get it. I understand, and I do want to get to some of these comments. Will in the chat, innovation is the most overrated thing. Innovation that doesn't work is just dumb ideas. Just do shit that works. That's why the SEC and Big Ten are where they are. My counterpoint to that is the Big Ten and the SEC succeed because of money. Let's take out the idea that we're fans of a sport for a second. It's a business. These are financial entities that their sole purpose at the end of the day is the bottom line that we're discussing, right? If there wasn't money in college football, we don't live in a world of sunshine and rainbows where we could just throw football teams in stadiums and just year over year lose a ton of fucking money. That's in a different place, a different reality where currency doesn't exist, okay? And everybody does everything for free. That's not how this works. Everything is for money. Players have been getting paid under the table for decades.
Yes.
Under the table where it hasn't been legal, right? Now it's out there. Now it's allowed, okay? Now everybody and their mother is allowed to donate money to collectives, to schools, to whatever, to try and get their team, their program, and those players to a national championship to compete at the highest level. Your idea of why the SEC and the Big Ten do it year over year successfully is, I understand that idea. But what I'm saying is, those two conferences, they play in their own playground, okay? The Big 12 and the ACC, they play in their own playground. So did the Pac-12, right? But what I'm saying is, if you want to go play with the big kids, okay, you want to go play with the 8th graders, okay, that are playing football down on the field and you're tired of playing in the fucking sandbox, well, guess what? You got to get to that point. You got to get to that level. And it's not going to take, just because I want to, okay? That's the reality of it. Just because the Big 12 has more teams doesn't mean that all of a sudden they're going to be able to compete with the SEC in Georgia. You want to know a great example? 2-3 years ago, Oregon had a very good football team. Dan Lanning, I think, was headed into his first year as the coach at Georgia or at Oregon, coming from Georgia. They opened the season against Georgia. That was a good Oregon team. Georgia kicked the absolute shit out of that Oregon team. You see it every year. You see it every year in the college football playoff. You see these SEC teams. You see Ohio State and Michigan run through teams
in the college football playoff.
In the championship game. That's a Big 12 team. And yes, they have great players. There are certain players, there are certain coaches, there are certain facilities, there are certain things that you simply can't have because you want it, okay? And we've seen it. You look at Arizona State specifically, right? One of, if not the largest alumni base in the world at Arizona State. Why don't they have the most NIL, right? Just if it was just simply a numbers game of you have the most, then why don't you have it? Well, there's buy-in, there is the fact of success, there is relationships with donors, there's people that hate who was in the role prior. So there are so many different things that go into it.
Absolutely.
For success. And it at the end of the day, it comes down to money. And for such a long time in sports, it was, we have to do these things under the table and you can't get caught. And there are certain programs that were doing it that either get caught, that don't do it to the same level, they don't have the donors to be able to do it. And guess what? Now you're playing in the Wild West. Or guess what? If you played Red Dead Redemption, you kind of fuck with that game because you could do whatever you want, right? Here you are in college sports. You can kind of do whatever you want. Brett Yormark says, I'm going to get on my fucking horse and I'm going to change the game.
Yeah. No, listen, like, and I understand, like, I don't want to make it seem like I don't completely understand the other side of it. But there's a difference between understanding the other side of it and agreeing with the other side of it. And William is kind of the most, like, vocal in our chat about this. And he just said, remember, the first TV deal the Pac-12 had was much more than other conferences, but they decided to be innovative and try something new just to be different. No, the reason why the Pac-12 died is because they rested on their laurels. It's because they felt like they didn't have to change anything. Because Larry Scott walked in there and was like, you know what? I'm fine. We're good. Who cares?
Dude,
the only reason that they had the only reason why they brought that streaming service deal that actually killed them is because they waited so long and decided not to get out ahead of the game that it absolutely screwed them. It absolutely screwed them. Listen.
We might scrap everything else we have to talk about today.
I was like, this is great conversation because everybody in the chat also has like really good opinions on this. And like, let it be known. We will read it. And a lot of people are saying, let Yormark cook. Other people are saying, you're selling out. Other people are saying, well, you know, the SEC, the reason why they get the money is because of the good product they put out there. Listen, this is a chicken and the egg situation, right? It's like, oh, you don't get good till you get the money.
But it's not, it hasn't always been that way.
No, but what I'm saying with like the SEC and stuff is like, if the Big 12 does this, you can bet your ass they will not be the only one.
No.
It is the same way that when people have pushed the boundaries of NIL, when they have pushed the boundaries of basically everything in sports, the same way that as soon as one team left the Pac-12, it was open fucking season.
All it takes is one.
If this happens, they will just be the first. They will not be the last. And if you want to not be the type of conference that is looking at the SEC and saying, man, we just can't compete. Man, we just can't compete. Because what's the difference between that year of Georgia and Oregon? One had a lot of great players. The other one had an entire roster full of them.
Yeah, their entire roster is 5-star, 4-star guys. The best. It's the best team in the country.
And we talk about ASU and how they're turning it around this year, and they have great talent, and they have really, really, really turned it up, right?
Yeah.
It's different levels for the SEC.
But people, and I get that, and I totally do, and we got to do an ad break here in a second, but like it is, I wish that everybody had a shared experience of college sports to the level of like what we have, just because we do see things, we go places and we have different luxuries. So it's just a different experience. I'm not saying it's the right one. It's just different, right? So like I've talked in the past on the show of my experience covering Notre Dame and watching that team be built, watching Brian Kelly coach his team and then going to LSU, watching Marcus Freeman try and build and coach that team, and seeing certain types of players, seeing the fan bases, seeing the communities, and then traveling to watch them go play at Florida State, seeing college football playoff games against Alabama. And like, it's different, man. It is different. And so when you talk about the chicken and the egg, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because we talk a lot on this show about, you know, the alumni base and where is the money. They've got the entire, like, the idea that you have to win before people get butts in seats, or do people show up regardless? And the experience that I have, right, is in certain places around the country, in Georgia, in Tuscaloosa, in South Bend. There isn't a chicken or the egg. They're there.
It is what it is.
It's they're showing up and they're tailgating all day long, and it is win or lose. They're going to invest in their program. They're going to be loud on social media. They're going to be loud in public to let you know if they agree with what the coach is doing or if they don't. And it doesn't matter. That's what they do. The same way that religions, right? And that it's college sports is a religion.
It's
the same way that people
go
to church every Sunday is the same way that people in South Bend, Indiana show up to Notre Dame football games. They could be playing Toledo. They could be playing Clemson. They could be playing USC. It doesn't matter. That is a packed stadium, and they are there. There's a reason why these programs get the top players year over year. Part of it has to do with money. Also, part of it has to just deal with the environment, right? You want to go to a place where they give a shit about college football.
Yeah.
You want ASU, you want Utah, you want Colorado, you want Arizona, the fan bases of teams that we have in the chat. You want them to be up to that level. You have to be able to upgrade what you have. And I'm sorry, but it's going to take a lot more than just a want to and a passion to get these programs to compete with Georgia, Alabama, and Notre Dame. And that's not an opinion. That is, I am field level, and I see the fucking difference between even last year, an Oregon offensive lineman and an Arizona State offensive lineman. The difference between a Notre Dame defensive tackle and a Toledo defensive tackle. They're different. It's like they belong in two different leagues.
Yeah, it's almost a different sport. And again, we mentioned it earlier. You see it play out in the college football playoff, right? I mean, that's the best of the best. And teams are getting ran out the building, right? And I think to kind of put a bow on all of this.
For now.
Because I think this has been a great conversation in chat. You've been amazing. If they were not the first to do it, somebody else would. And Sharon mentioned it a little bit ago. It's all coming. Jersey patches, stadiums for sale. We're already in NIL. Like now we're talking about naming the conferences. This is reality. This is what's going on. It's not a do you want it to be. It's not a do you like it to be. I wish it was. I wish I could sit here and say college sports is about what the fans want. I wish I could. I can't, right? Can't do that. But I can tell you that what everybody wants is good teams. And how do you get good teams? Good facilities, good fields, good jerseys, good coaches, good players. How do you get all of those? And today, you do it with money.
That's not even just sports. Like let's talk about it in just like a business standpoint. If you have a business, right? You have a small business and you want to increase what you're doing. You want to be more successful. There are a bunch of different ways that you could do it. You could do it with marketing. You could hire more experienced individuals. You can get better facilities to whatever you are doing.
Yeah.
That all costs money. You can want to be really successful. You can want the business to go off the rails, and you have a ton of passion. You could be there from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single night, and that's great. But guess what? If you don't have the money to do it, then there's a limit and a bar to how successful that you are going to be. And that's just how it is.
I mean, listen, like if we're just being frank, the industry that we all work in here, right? And we're all extremely lucky to be able to do what we do and how we do it. We have come across countless people who have an immense amount of knowledge and passion and the right head on their shoulders and the right game plan. And they go out there and they try and they try and they try and it just doesn't work. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the person. It has nothing to do with how hard they worked. It has nothing to do with them not being good enough. At the end of the day, they didn't have the infrastructure. They didn't have the investment. They didn't have the people, the places around them to give them a spotlight and to give them a place to do it and to be recognized and to do it consistently. It is a luxury to have that. And Brett Yormark is trying to make sure that whatever the hell the Big 12, the big whatever it is, has that luxury and is not the second or the third or the fourth power conference to do that. Because if you are a conference who just thinks that they can survive and do whatever they want and it's going to be fine, you are wrong. And that is the way that it is. And we have Jervis in the chat saying, I need Totri to do the ad break with the same energy.
Now,
the reason why you have this energy.
Let's see what I can concoct for
it's
you
because
guys
of Circle K
that
you have this energy. This show would not be going the way that this show has been going, which I'd say we've been on fire. If it wasn't for Circle K.
Heat. Look, guys, I'm going to tell you, Damon Dog, first shout out Damon Dog. Damon
Fantastic
Dog's
guy.
a fantastic human being, fantastic man. Everybody needs a Damon Dog. He's the glue guy. Damon's
Absolutely.
the glue guy, okay? Asked him before he left if he could grab me an energy drink from Circle K. Of course, Damon Dog's going to come through. Toss it to me. You watched it. We cracked it. Boom. We're juiced every day. Every single day. I make it a point of emphasis to stop at Circle K. I've got one literally right next to my house. Stopped there this morning. Got myself a little protein shake, one of those little core power drinks they have. Absolute phenomenal taste. That's not the only thing that they have at Circle K. They got energy drinks. They got protein shakes. They got waters. They got Gatorades. They got sodas. They got Polar Pops. They got Frosters. That's just drinks. On the snack level, they got cookies, they got crackers, they got chips, they got little mini tacos that I saw for the first time yesterday. They have everything under the sun to help you guys not only survive your day, but thrive throughout the day. Circle K also going to help you guys save money with Inner Circle. It's a new free membership program. First 5 fill-ups, that is saving you 25 cents per gallon. Every single day after that, they're going to help you save 3 cents per gallon. So just to recap, they've got everything that you can want to drink, to eat. They've got great customer service. Okay. They got locations all over the valley. Okay. And they're trying to help you guys save money. Oh. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it kind of seems like the perfect place.
And it is, guys. Just join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
If you had to use one word to sum up what this show has been about, what
been
word
about?
would you choose? Yeah, like what? Like if you say this show we talked about
money.
Blank. Thank you. It's money. And like I said before, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, unfortunately, you need to be able to keep money in order to get through in this world, and you need to have a great place to keep it. And that is where our friends over at Desert Financial come in handy. They've been around for more than 40 years. I'm pretty sure we're coming up on more than 85 now, okay? Because they've been around. They've been around for me. They've been around for my family before me. Like, we are a Desert Financial family, right? And it's not just the basics, your checkings and your savings accounts and whatever. They've also got mortgages and loans and credit cards and investment options and other ways that you can be smart with your money. I believe they do insurance as well. I mean, they really do handle everything that you need when it comes to your money. And speaking of money, what if I said, hey, guys, I'll give you $200 for free right now? All of you would sign up and all of you would say yes. And that's why right now over at desertfinancial.com/ASU, you can open up a free checking account and they will get $200. Boom, bang, right there, right in your checking account. Plus, you can spend that $200 with your choice of 3 different ASU Visa debit cards. Rock your maroon and gold. I would show mine on camera, but I like my identity and I like my money, so I won't do that. But rock your maroon and gold, guys. Go out there. Any of the 3 debit cards. They also have other designs too. If you don't want to rock maroon and gold, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but get that $200. Go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started. All right.
We'll scratch some of the stuff that we had planned for today and get to it probably tomorrow.
Totri, I spent so long on those videos.
I know. We'll get to them. Don't worry. We'll get to them. Whether it be today, tomorrow, we'll 100% get to those videos. One thing I do want to say, again, we appreciate all the conversation in the chat. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review. Now, message everybody on Twitter watching. Do us a solid. Right under the tweet that you're watching, we got a link to the YouTube. Come over, watch it on YouTube, interact with everybody in the chat. Again, hit the like button when you get here. Hit the subscribe button. We're live talking Arizona State college athletics almost every single day of the week. Every single weekday we're doing it. And then when the football season, basketball season starts, you can count on some level of content just about every single hour from PHNX
Pretty much, man.
Sports. Do us one other solid. Open up another tab. We don't want you to leave us. Head over to gophnx.com today. Click the little Die Hard tab, and it's going to tell you everything that you are going to unlock when you become a PHNX Die Hard. That includes access to the Die Hard Discord. We've got Sharon. We had Sweet Prince Kenny in the chat. Yep. Short Bus, a bunch of other PHNX diehards, always talking Arizona State and college athletics. But it's not the only channel in our diehard Discord. We got Suns, we got Cardinals, we have a hockey chat, we got a UFC chat,
Rising.
We have everything that you could imagine.
Hell, they talk soccer in the ASU chat.
Yeah, and that's just one level of being a diehard.
And like, really, yeah, you can do whatever you want in that chat. You want to chop it up with us. You want to talk to the other diehards. You just want to kind of be a fly on the wall. Listen, I see you all out there, flies on the wall.
We do have flies on the wall.
I see you.
We do absolutely have flies on the wall there.
I appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, it's not just the Die Hard Discord. You get discounts to all of our events. You get one free piece of merch every single year from our locker. And boy, did we drop some heat.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and throw that up there. My goodness. This is my look. I feel because we work at PHNX, it's the idea of like we're not supposed to have favorite children, right? You know how parents aren't supposed to have their favorite.
All of our shirts are
This is my favorite collection that we've dropped, the Valley collection.
So fire.
Everything on this is absolutely incredible. I specifically love the taco truck stuff,
dude.
I think I like it because it's almost like it's simple, but it's unique.
Yeah, it's really cool. This was. We were sitting in the office together when this kind of got announced, and sometimes this stuff just kind of like drops on us. Like we're
like, wait, what? We got new shirts?
Right? It goes in our Slack, and they're like, hey guys, new shirts. Check them out, promo them if you like them. And I swear, in less than 5 minutes,
we bought them.
Totri and I had the shipping notifications.
Had to.
Like it was that easy, man. And it's not just that collection. We have some incredible shirts. You're wearing the Coyote shirt right now. Which
I believe you can still get. I believe this is still on sale.
Yeah, and they have some deactivated fan merch, which is absolutely incredible.
R.I.P.
but like, listen, guys, there's a little bit of something for everybody, and not only all of that, you get a little Die Hard card as well. You get also like a bunch of extra content as well. Like we do audio only episodes for everybody. That's going to go in your feed every week. You're going to get the video as well if you're a diehard.
Yeah.
You want some exclusive articles, which by the way, I don't know how we got this far in the show. We didn't mention this. Craig freaking Morgan put out an incredible article to pair with our interview with Graham Rossini, which if you want to check out yesterday's pod, you should do that.
Great
but
Q&A.
Did a very lengthy written Q&A with Graham Rossini. That is free and unlocked up on gophnx.com. Guys, so much for you there, and I'm telling you, we're only adding. So go.
The list goes on and on.
And it's so good that I wore a big hat for a month just so that one of you could
We got
become
Graham
a diehard
Rossini to wear that big hat the other day, man.
The big hat's a thing now, okay? But listen, guys, like all that is incredible, and we appreciate all of you in the chat right now. Like Totri said, leave a like, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
The march to 30K.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
One more plug outside of the article while you're on the website, gophnx.com. Click the little event tab as well. It's going to tell you all of the community events that we have here at PHNX, because that's what we are. We're a community. We are a family, and we got a great family event next Thursday. Chicken and pickle. We got a trivia night. Come lose to me. Thursday, June 20th, 7 p.m. through 9 p.m. Eric, you don't know, but we're on a team. We are going to have an absolute blast. You know the best part of this event?
What?
Not only that it's at Chicken and Pickle, but it's totally free.
You know what? I think we're going to win now. Now that I'm on your team, I'm not going to contribute at all. But
no,
now
I'm the
Braun. I'm gonna go.
No,
I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna cross my. You're the Braun.
I'm the Braun.
You're the Braun.
Or you could be Luka. I'll be Kyrie.
You know, one of the best compliments I ever got when I was playing pickup basketball. It wasn't Luka, but I was playing a bunch of people.
Different white basketball player.
Took a first shot. That was like a little warm up shot, and they all pointed at me and they went, "Oh, Jokic." And I was like, it was in my heavier days, and I was like, you know what? Thank you. Not true at all. But, I did I was like,
come hang out.
Do you actually play defense?
I do. But Jokic plays, it's Luka that doesn't play defense.
Yeah, you're Luka.
Jokic is a plus defender. I'll die on that hill. But listen, that's NBA. Yeah, Chicken Pickle, great. I'm going to be at the Mercury Takeover tonight. That's going to be really awesome. I don't know if we have any tickets left, but
doesn't hurt to go check.
There's another takeover in a couple of months as well. And we have a Miami trip for the Cardinals. That's a big one. If you're a football fan, you want to do that as well. All of that, gophnx.com. All right, we've gone a little off the rails here, Totri. Where are we steering the ship for the last couple of months?
In a great way.
Oh, in the best way. I think that first conversation was, I had like 10 times better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a good 10 minutes. I was going to just be angry. You're going to be like, all right, calm down, bud. And then we were going to move on. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Someday, that's why you tune into this show, because you never really know what the hell is going to happen. Look, Danielle's producing the show. She has no idea what we're going to do next. So
also, it is messed up that you call me Luka after last night. I think that's
you can take that how you want to.
He's
the second greatest basketball player currently in the game right now.
Of all time. I was like, whoa.
No, absolutely not. Second greatest player actively in the NBA, defense or not, take it how you will. But one thing I do want to do is, if you are an Arizona State fan, if you're a fan just of college sports, and you're looking forward to the new EA Sports college football 25 game that's going to come out. I don't know if you guys have saw it, but Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State football coach, he pranked the team. Incredible. He pulled out an envelope with, I believe, 3 or 4 what looked to be exclusive Arizona State EA College
I got
25.
fired. I got
did too.
fired up.
I
I
did
was like,
too.
wait a second.
I was getting ready to start. I'm like, who's winning? So I could text them and be like, I need to get on this game. I need to get on this game like immediately. And so they had to hold a plank, right? In different categories, different groups, and they were holding their planks, and a couple players won. And when they gave them the games, they lined them all up and had them open it in front of the camera, in front of the other 100 teammates that lost. In the Goofy movie. The Goofy movie.
Fun. Out of all the movies picked,
was in
so
there.
Funny.
And that is absolutely incredible. That is the type of coach that Kenny Dillingham is.
It's true.
And it is absolutely wild that was the prank that he pulled.
Can I say something, though?
Yeah.
Some of those planks were kind of crap.
I mean, you think you could plank better?
No, I'm not saying I could plank better, but not for longer.
Also, we don't know how long. We don't know at what minute that plank was looking at.
But there were some where I was like...
You heard it here first, guys. Erik Ruby wants to plank against the Arizona State football team. I'm sure we can make that happen. I'm sure.
I'd be screwed now. Back in the day when I was made to do planks, they're very, very like strict about it, and I was just watching, being like, I would be yelled at if I had to do that.
That's fair. Anyway. Pop Warner coaches, man, something about them. They were them and high school football coaches. They really, really needed you to get in
back straight up off the ground. Yeah, everything like that.
But we had the luxury of talking to Kenny Dillingham during the little kids camp that they had just the other day. Kenny,
did he make the
Leif,
planks?
Huh?
Did he make them do planks?
I don't think so. I was
that would be so on brand.
If you made the kids do planks?
Yeah. If Kenny's just like, hey guys, we're all doing planks.
Or if you made the media members do planks.
I'm honestly shocked he hasn't put you guys out there.
100%.
For something.
Also, I'm just imagining Kenny drawing up a play for a bunch of like 12-year-olds, and they're just looking at him like, what?
What
He's like, no, you don't get it. You cross.
What does that mean?
So I asked where the water fountain was.
Yeah. He's like, can I go to the bathroom? Plank. Now, KD was asked yesterday just a little bit about the prank, and he said, just blame it all on Brian Carrington.
Oh, they thought it was hilarious. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, people are going to say what they want to say, and we have a really good relationship with our guys. Very natural. You know, if they can play a joke on me, they're going to. If I can play a joke on them, you know, I'm going to. That's part of the culture we're building here. If you think that's taking it too far, then you're soft. I'm sorry. No offense. I mean, this is college athletics. This is relationships with guys. Same thing I do to my brother, my sister, my family. So I think it's funny, and you know, I get to do that.
I get to do that. I'm the coach.
He's not wrong.
I'm the coach. I get to do it. He's right. Hey, I love that idea of like, if you don't like it, bro, then this isn't for you. Well, right. This isn't for you.
It's the same thing, kind of like here. Like sometimes it's just you give people.
You're joking. That's what you do with your friends, your family, right? That's what you.
You saw how crazy everybody went too.
Yeah.
When it came out and they're like Goofy movie, like of course the people who won were probably for a second like,
damn,
man, I'm not gonna get EA 25, man. But everybody else was going nuts.
Yeah,
nuts.
I mean, at least for me, that's what you want from your coach, right? You want your coach to have that relationship with his players. The idea of, hey, we're going to joke around. We're going to have a good time. Kenny Dillingham said it multiple times. He said it at his opening press conference that if you want to have more fun and work harder than anyone else in the nation, you come to Arizona State under Kenny Dillingham. And I guess what? Nobody's having more fun.
I mean, he made them
Nobody's
work
having more fun.
It wasn't just like, whoever can answer this trivia question. It was do a plank. Which
that's going to be
brutal.
maxing us next week.
It's true. Planks are brutal. I will give them like, once you start hitting like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, like it gets pretty brutal.
God, you know the best part about this video game, at least according to Kenny Dillingham, is the motivation that it is going to set off for these players. According to Kenny Dillingham, this game is at the top of his list that he can't wait to be released.
But they're fired up. They're excited for the game. Like I told them all, I can't wait to see everybody's rating because everybody's going to be disappointed. So I'm like, this is going to be the greatest motivation ever. I wish the game was released today, right? Because everybody will be mad at their rating and they'll try to work harder. External motivation, right? So it's funny to me. It's great that those guys get to be a part of the game coming back. I mean, that's what's awesome, is they get to be a part of, even though they're in this crazy world of college athletics with all these distractions, right? This is something that is pure and genuine that they're going to have for the rest of their life. They're going to be part of this game coming back and the first group of people to be in a game that, you know, people still play 10 years later, the last version of it.
The great competitors of all time, they find motivation from nowhere.
Yeah.
And listen, this isn't from nowhere though. Like we had Cole Martin on, And we asked him about, hey, EA College Football 25 is coming out. What do you think you'd be ranked or your teammates? And he was like, oh, do you want me to say what they're going to rate us or what I think they are?
Yeah.
And that's like they understand and they know that, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. If there was like a podcasting video game, right, and my rating came out and it was a bad rating, it would fire me up.
A podcast video game is
Worst
crazy.
video game of all time. But it would still fire me up. Like, that is something that is a wholesome way to get that competitive edge. And also, they should be adjusting the ratings mid-season. It's like, as a team and as an individual, everybody should be going in like, of course I want to win it for myself. I want to win it for my team. But I also want to sit down and I want to play with myself in a video game and be like, you know what? I'm not utter dog crap, right? Because some of these guys who haven't even played, like Jake Smith is not going to have a good rating, right? Even though he's one of the best players on the team right now, he's not going to have an incredible rating. So I do think that is like a really fun way to get motivation for sure.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Go get it. You want it? Go get it. Go compete. And that is what Kenny Dillingham is trying to get out of his players at Arizona State. And if that little prank doesn't show you, then I think maybe the only thing that will is when you get your ass in those seats at Mountain America Stadium and you see him take on Wyoming to open the season. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils show. It blew by.
Tomorrow's show is going to be fantastic because there's so many clips from that availability.
So much that we just didn't.
Listen, that just means that tomorrow's show is already planned. So now we're going to be sitting and brewing on it, and it's just going to be absolute.
And it's a Flavor Friday tomorrow.
Oh, we got hotter now and all of that. Okay, tomorrow's show is going to go crazy.
Maybe tomorrow's the day that we take OGs and we try and do a show. Maybe, just potentially. I guess you'll
providing
have to,
the OGs?
I guess, Max, I'm sure, will provide the OGs.
Listen,
OGs will provide the
I'll
OGs.
do it. I am very much on the record of I will.
You don't want to see me do a show.
No, the thing is, I would love to just have to like carry you like Luke had to carry Yoda. Just you on my back.
Stop it.
You're just sitting there.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, guys, if you enjoyed the content, do us a solid. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere under the sun. Give the show a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Big Hat here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow DJ Danielle at Africa Danielle across social media. One final note. If you do sign up to become a PHNX diehard, when you create your Discord account, your name, say what's up. At me, at Erik, in the chat. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you, guys. That is going to do it. In the meantime,
Also vote for me.
No,
vote for me.
Do not vote for
in
that,
the
man.
snake draft because I'm wiping the floor yet again.
It's just
pure
you
and
didn't
utter
deserve
dominance.
to win. You didn't deserve to
Graham
win.
Rossini didn't even see it coming.
Guys,
Absolute dominance.
Go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.